Okay, now we're going to have the program for the evening, and I would like to announce the speaker for this evening first. Eric Lentz is with Up With People. For those of you who don't know Up With People, it's an organization, an educational organization, whose mission is to inspire young people to make a difference in the world. Does that ring a bell? They work to break down cultural barriers and create global understanding through volunteer service and a musical show. They have been around for a while. They've been around since 1965. I would like you to please welcome Eric Lentz and Up With People, our program for this evening. Thank you.
One of my favorite parts of Up With People is how we travel around the world for 6 months. It's 100 people from 20 different countries. We perform, do community service, stay with host families.
Just spreading awareness is what we're doing. Make the world a better place in any way we can.
Our mission is to spread hope and open-mindedness.
We want the world to be a peaceful place. Performing is the biggest part of Up With People.
100 people just flood in, make such a huge production.
You don't need to be a professional to be in Up With People.
Everyone here is supportive. They're like, yeah, let's do this together.
We stay with host families wherever we go. We get to actually learn about the culture and not just see it from a tourist perspective.
They are opening the house for you.
I have more friends from a different country. They help me a lot.
Each day is so busy.
Community service is just working with people from the community.
If they need us to help with homeless shelters, gardening stuff, or working with kids, then that's what we do for that week. And then at the end of the week, as like a thank you, we perform a show to challenge the audience, how 100 of us from 20 different countries can stand up on stage, sing about the same message, say if we can do it, why can't you do it?
I didn't realize how small the world could be until I joined Up With People.
The best part of Up With People is the connections you make with everyone that you meet.
Actually, I can say I have new family here.
We're from like different countries, we're from different background, different religion, but like we can like exist understanding each other.
You come out of this program being the best you that you want to be and that you never thought you could be.
In reaching out to other people, we get perspectives from around the world.
Up With People's goal is to make places become faces.
Make the world a better place little by little in any way we can.
With every person that we touch, they'll spread it more and more. Even the smallest things that we're doing are helping them in such a big way.
Yo, yo, what's up, District 5450?
How you guys doing tonight? Come on, how you guys doing tonight? Yeah.
I'm Jake. I'm from Ohio.
I'm Mariah. I'm from Wyoming.
And we are really excited to be here today. Let's go.
Woo!
This one's called Party Around the World. Come on, let's do it now. We want to make you smile. Let up the people bring the party all around the world. No matter that you found the walls, we bring them down. Hey, everybody, let's party all around the world. Man, with everybody mad for, can't be frowned on the dance floor. DJ, give them all what they ask for. Bad attitude, that's what not about. Let's go now. Bad attitude, they ain't got an app for. Let a clap go. It ain't natural to be in them streets getting mad though. Life's too short, move fast though. Live a lot, love and laugh long and ask for the rest of us. Let a hard time get the best of us, especially when the good time next to us. Round the world party, cash of us, man. The world the stage, clap for us. Music is love, it's that for us. So have fun and bring it back to us. Come on, let's do it now. We wanna make you smile. Let up the people bring the party all around the world. No matter that you frown, the walls we bring them down. Hey everybody, let's party all around the world. Sometimes get a little down, things ain't never what it seemed. Go ahead, dance, dance till you can't. Rise to the top of the cream. Put your hands up, stand up, go crazy, baby, do your thing. Show world, it's number 2. Turn the music up, let's go insane. Everybody move, everybody jump, out of your seat, let the beat bump. Never gonna stop, right to the day, straight to the night. We ain't moving on up. Have a good time, life for the show. Party all night, we ain't never gotta go. So I wanna see everybody on the floor. On your mark, ready, get set, go. Feel the beat, move your feet, rhythm strong, walls come down when we sing. You can bet when we start, round and round, keep it loud, let's get down. Oh yeah! 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, let's do it now. We wanna make you smile. Let up the people bring the party all around the world. No matter that you found the walls, we bring them down. Hey everybody, let's party all around the world.
Thank you, Aaron. Good evening, everyone. We call that our digestion song. And the cast wanted me to make sure that you all know how much they appreciated the dinner tonight. So, hi. My name's Eric, and I am lucky enough to be in the job that I dreamed about when I was 10 years old. I swear to God. We just heard about following your passions. I guess I've been following it since I was 10, and luckily enough, I ended up where I am today. So before I start, I just want to put a question out to you guys, and put yourself back a few years. And do you remember what you wanted to be when you were a little kid? Yeah? Okay. Maybe the president, maybe the governor. Okay, well, we're going to come back. I'm going to come back to that question in just a few minutes, but I'm going to sing to you tonight more than I'm going to speak to you, okay? Because I do one better than the other. So, I think I got the year right, 1905. Is that correct? And if I do math correctly, that means 114. Is that correct? Okay, phew. Because the lyrics depend on that. One of the things that I thought we might talk about tonight is the power of belief. I work for Up With People. Some people have compared Up With People to another organization that has been mentioned this evening. They call us something like Glee meets the Peace Corps, or they call us the Glee Corps. So since 1965, we've been following that power of belief, and since 1905, y'all have. So Rob, can you throw those lyrics up on the screen? Because I've put a little bit of music to a little something that's very important to Rotarians. So I'm going to teach you the tune. Apologies to Don McLean, okay? Goes a little something like this. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? These are questions that we ask ourselves from lessons we've learned. Will it build goodwill and better friendships, no stone unturned? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? The four-way test, commitment confirmed. Okay? Now that y'all know it, here's the verse. 114 years ago, or so, in a town by a lake we call Chicago, began a vision of sharing both personal and pro. Though February made them shiver, they persevered and soon delivered an international network of giving back through good works. Now, millions of members later and billions raised, we celebrate the dream they made as we recite this simple phrase, a four-way test, a guide for all we think, do, and say. Here we go, the chorus. Put the chorus back up there if we could. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? These are questions that we ask ourselves from lessons we've learned. Will it build goodwill and better friendships, no stone unturned? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? The four-way test, commitment confirmed. Y'all are good. Okay, Cass, we're taking these guys on the road, all right? All right, so Rotary and Up With People, there are so many connections between our two organizations. The power of belief in what an organization can achieve with just the power of will and power of hope. And really, some people call that cheesy, what we do in Up With People. I don't think so. I think getting people to believe in achievement and making a better world is actually, it's a worthwhile goal, and it's what we work with young people around the world on every day. So we're going to talk from an organizational standpoint a little bit about Up With People and the power of belief in Up With People. I'm going to bring it down personal to me, and then I'm going to share the power of belief in a song with you. Okay? So Up With People. When we look at Up With People's history, we started in 1965 with young people just like the ones dancing up here in front of you a few minutes ago. We believe in Up With People that people are motivated more by hope than by fear. We're motivated more by hope than by fear. We believe that peace comes from mutual understanding, respect, and trust. I read an article in the Rotarian, I think it was this month actually, about a Better Angels organization that is working with some Rotarians on how we can have a discussion even though we might not agree with each other. If we sit in a blue seat, we sit in a red seat, does it matter? Can we at least learn to actively listen to each other? And Up With People, we have a program called Stand for Civility, which does the exact same thing with the middle and high school students. So there's that wonderful connection that our two organizations have about, hey, let's respect each other a little bit, even though we might not agree. And we also believe in Up With People, believe so strongly that young people can and will make this world a better place. Well, because they're it, right? They're our future. There's a generation out there called the millennials. I believe very strongly in the power of the millennials, and there's a couple data points that I'd like to share with you. Millennials actually volunteer more than any other generation, and they're rising, millennials rising. Millennials also have a better, or let's call it a more hopeful view of the future than our generations do. Over 50% of them believe that the world's going to be a better place when they grow up. I believe from my generation it's 25%. So that's amazing. That's the power of belief in those young people, and if we believe in them, they're going to do it. So bringing it personal to my story, I'm just going to share a little bit of personal stuff with you right now. Andrew Romanoff was here earlier, and I know we discussed mental health and Andrew Romanoff's organization, and I've got a I've got a personal story I'd like to share with you. I grew up as the son of a military pacifist and a radical feminist. This is true. This is true. My dad's a retired brigadier general in the Air Force, and while he was in Vietnam, my mom was burning her bra with me in the stroller right by her side. So I don't know how much more diverse you can get in terms of the influences, the two biggest influences on my life, but it somehow turned me into what I wanted to be when I grew up, which was a Beatle. Probably more specifically, Paul McCartney. I'm not left-handed, obviously, but it wasn't that I wanted to be on stage rocking with the Beatles. They didn't tour that much, actually. I loved their songwriting. Even at the age of 10, I would just tear apart their lyrics. I absolutely loved the way they turned a phrase. And so many years later, let's call it 44 years later, I'm writing songs for a living, for Up With People. Do you guys remember what you wanted to be when you grew up besides the president? Okay. Anybody achieve it? Awesome, because my kids are in the back, and I'm going to show you a picture of them right now. These are my boys, and one of them wanted to be a vet. Carter, I don't know if that's still true. The other one wanted to be a YouTube star. Can you guess which one is which? So my wife and I, our plan is to support them in those goals as much as we can. And my mom and dad, if they didn't believe in me, I don't think I'd be standing up here today. I may have joined the Air Force. Dad never pushed me into it. So about 25 years ago, we found out that my mom had something at the time they just called manic depression. It turns out she's bipolar, and 25 to 30 years ago, the treatment for that is very different than it is today. In fact, the acceptance of it is very different than it is today. We didn't know what to do except for love mom. It turns out that's the best treatment. Show mom we're there for her, show her we love her, and show her we care. A few years after that, my younger brother was diagnosed as well. So 2 years ago, we lost Chris. He lost his fight. And despite all we could do for him, it wasn't enough for Chris. So through all of that time, I had been writing songs for Up With People, and at the same time, I'd been working on this song for my mom, and it was called Yellow Suns and Kryptonite. It was addressing her bipolar, what brings her up and what brings her down, right? Like Superman. And it never, ever worked. The song never worked. And then Chris passed. And all of a sudden, the song wrote itself. And I believe that it came from Chris. It needed to be written from his perspective. Some of the things that he'd shared with me about his illness as his bigger brother. Sometimes I feel lonely in a crowd, he would say. Sometimes I stay quiet, though my mind is going crazy, right? He didn't know how to deal with it. And so the song was written, and it's called Roller Coaster. I'm just going to sing you the first two lines now. Sometimes I feel lonely in a crowd. Sometimes I stay silent, though my mind is calling out. And then the song builds from there. The point of the song is that the hook is we won't let you go, because that is the treatment. Show them the love, show them that you're there for them, and bring some hope into this world. So we wrote the song, we finished it, and then we had to convince people that we're an organization like Up With People, where we're about hope, right? And love, that this is a message that people needed to hear. Our song, you just saw Party Around the World. That's what people know us for. This song needed to be heard because this generation lists this as one of the top 2 issues that they have to deal with. And so we got it in the show. And we debuted it. And as you're a writer and you're sitting and you're watching something being debuted that you created, you have 2 big fears. Either people are going to laugh at something that's not supposed to be laughed at, or maybe they just won't react at all. The song ended and you could hear a pin drop. Not a sniffle, nothing, just a pin drop. And I was nervous. After the show, I was approached by several people with tears in their eyes saying thank you. And I got this letter the next morning. I'm just going to read a section of it to you. I share this with you because the person who wrote this asked me to share this. It's a note that I got from someone who was at the show that night, and I read it, opened up my email the next morning at 6:30, and you know you have that big fear when you see an email subject line, should I click or should I not? Well, the subject line was, last night's show, ... And that could be a landmine. I opened it, and as my wife comes downstairs and I'm drinking coffee, I'm a wreck at the table reading this note. And she thought something was wrong. I said, no, everything's right, babe. I'll share with you some excerpts from the letter. Hey, Eric, I was at your show tonight, and I wanted to express my appreciation to you and the cast. Yes, the energy was there, and the cast was prepared as always, but I want to thank you for taking risks with this show. You and your team took on important issues at such an important time for all of us. One of these specifically that I wanted to call out is depression and isolation from Roller Coaster. My 14-year-old son was with me tonight, and he has struggled mightily with both of these issues. He's been at the proverbial and literal edge and has retreated into himself recently. While I took him to your show tonight for a dose of energy and spirit, this song made both of us stop in our tracks. Before I knew it, this boy, this young man, was quietly weeping beside me and clutching my hand as tightly as he ever has. As the song continued to its close, my son rested his head on my shoulder, something he hasn't done in years, and whispered, they described it perfectly. I know I'm not alone anymore. The lyrics and music were perfect, the blocking was perfect, and the technicals were right where they needed to be to reach a kid who needed reaching. I want you to know that the young lady who sang and the cast that surrounded her changed a life on their first night. Thank you, Cast A. So... the song's in the show now, and it works. And it's jolting and jarring for some people who haven't seen an Up With People show in a few years, but the idea and my hope and our hope and the power of belief is that people leave that song and that show with an idea that hope is there. If we reach one person, and we did, then the song's worth it. So we're going to sing it for you now, but before we do, I'm going to invite up 4 of our dancers. We have a program called Camp Up With People for high school kids. It takes place out in Harrisonburg, Virginia. And they put together a show based on the inspiration that they feel from Up With People music. So last year, they debuted Roller Coaster at camp because they chose that that's one of the songs they wanted to perform. And they wanted to do a little bit more with it. So they wrote an introduction. And the introduction is called The Masks We Live In. And it's based on the music from Roller Coaster, but it is their words and sharing what their feelings, that what you see on the outside of them is often not what they're feeling and want to share with you from the inside. So I'd like to invite Erin Shippey up, who is the choreographer and creator of the song, and she's going to introduce it to you.
Desmond Tutu once said, "Hope is being able to see there is light despite the darkness." Our touring group explored their own cultures, families, and experiences, realizing how it has helped them grow and understand themselves as a person. To shine the light in the darkness, they learned to open up, be vulnerable, and be brave enough to unmask who they are beneath the surface. Here are some of their stories.
What you see is energetic, creative, caring, love for my family. What you don't see is anxiety, body image issues, my relationship with food, family struggles,
What you see is a gentleman, always smiling, sensitive, a thinker. What you don't see is fear of disappointing my father, constant pressure to be better, coping with failure, loneliness.
What you see is soft-spoken, a hugger, loving, an activist. What you don't see is loss of family, my own demons, low self-esteem, not feeling loved.
What you see is a good friend, theatrical, spontaneous, proud of my country. What you don't see is lack of self-control, childhood trauma, fear of not being accepted, constant insecurity.
Sometimes I feel lonely in a crowd. Sometimes I stay silent, though my mind is calling out. Sometimes I feel so up, I am sky high. Then I plummet down below ground. I get lost inside, but I'm right beside you. I'll be with you through all the ups and downs and twists and turns, ins and outs, the tears that burn. I will not let you go on this roller coaster life you live when you got nothing left to give. You are never alone. I won't let you go. I won't let you go.
But there are many times when all I see is night. Loneliness and doubt creeping, they are my kryptonite. Sometimes I need the yellow sun to shine on you, remind you that a new day has begun. So I'm right beside you, trapped in with you through all the ups and downs, the twists and turns, the ins and outs, the tears that burn. We will not let you go on this roller coaster life you live when you got nothing left to give. You are never alone. We won't let you go. We won't let you go. I know there are wounds that heal and those that don't. Broken arms will mend, mine sometimes won't. Keep your hope alive, 'cause you are not alone. We are by your side, we'll lead you home. Through all turns, ins and outs, tears that burn. Through all the ups and downs, the twists and turns, the ins and outs, the tears that burn, we will not let you go. On this roller coaster life you live, when you've got nothing left to give, you are never alone. We won't let you go. Don't let them go. We won't let you go. We won't let you go. Sometimes I feel lonely in a crowd.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much for, first of all, for Bev and Sandy for inviting us here tonight. Thank you so much for everything that you do, because we're sitting back there just inspired as heck just by listening to your stories. Thank you for inspiring our next generation to grow up and continue to give back to the community. Bev said that there might be a few questions, and if there are, I can answer them about Up With People, about any of these wonderful young people that we had on stage with us tonight. If not, then we're just going to go on and we're going to close with two choruses of our theme song, which I think you all know. Yeah? Okay. No questions? My dream was to be a songwriter. Oh, these guys. Share your dreams, Mariah.
Hi, my name is Mariah. It's so nice to meet you guys. My dream, personally, is to perform in any way, whatever that means. I've always had a dream of being like the next Mariah Carey, you know, when I'm older. Obviously, I'm not her, but hopefully, you know, I'm like the best representation for my generation, and I hope to be an example. Yeah.
Hi, my name's Jen. I'm from Michigan, and my dream is I hope to live in an underprivileged country and use my Spanish-speaking skills and my international studies in order to inspire the youth and change the human rights issues that are going on.
Any other questions? Yeah, let's bring them up here. Come on up, guys. Same question, right? Same question. Share your dreams and goals.
Hi, my name is Karen. I'm from Mexico. My dream is to make my country a better place someday.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Miguel. I'm from Arizona. My dream is to help empower the youth. I particularly work with high school students to help them create the different opportunities that they feel like their community needs and give them the tools to succeed.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Erin Shippey. I'm originally from Richmond, Virginia. My goal in life is to eventually be a dance and movement therapist and work with people in the community who need help through therapy, but in a different, ulterior way. So I really hope to be able to help people through movement someday.
Hi, guys. I'm Jake, and actually, like Eric, I would like to be a songwriter when I'm older. I'd really like to just make other human beings kind of feel heard. Yeah, thank you.
And they're all recent alumni of our program and have relocated to Denver. And we're so happy. All right, anything else? Yes, over here in the back. So we're here, very good question. You know what, I should have told you that. So we live here. We're here twice a year, and we do our twice annual staging periods in the Denver metro area. So we'll be bringing in a new group in mid-July, and they'll be here through the rest of July and August when they'll hit the road. And then we bring them back in mid-January through the month of February when they hit the road. So we can push out information on that through Bev and Sandy, yeah? Yeah, and we do look for host families for them. And actually, Rotary has partnered with us thousands of times over the years in large and small ways. And so many, many Rotarians have served as fantastic host families to our students. The cast right now is on their way to Belgium. Why am I looking? You guys aren't on the road. I think that they're finishing up Mexico and they fly to Belgium on Monday. They are. Actually, you know why I'm here tonight? Because my president is at that Rotary event. So I told him I'm back. I'm now Drew Locke. He's Joe Flacco. Or maybe it's the other way around. We don't know yet. So it's Denver metro area. The question is, do the host families have to be in Denver? I believe we're going to be using New Hope Baptist Church as our staging facility. You don't have to live in Denver. Most of our host families come from the surrounding communities. We do have shuttles that we run in and out of the city for the students. Perfect. Anything else? It's hard for me to see. If you've got your hand up, just shout out. So they're all college-aged. The ages that we go with is 17 to 29. The vast majority of them are 19 years old, 18 and 19, usually doing this in between high school and college, some of them as a break during college. Anything else? Yeah, so we now have 3 ages of Up With People, and my 2 sons represent 2 of them. Up With People Junior is for elementary kids. It's a week-long day camp in the summer. We're running 5 weeks of it this summer in the metro area, and we can push that out as well. And then we have the Camp Up With People program, which Aaron has been the show manager and director for the last 5 years, and that is in Harrisonburg, Virginia, and that's for high school students. 3-week sessions each summer, and it's the most beautiful, idyllic spot you can. It's the Shenandoah Valley, so it's just gorgeous. It's not the Rocky Mountains, but it's a good second. Yeah, 17, 19. The question is, did I travel Up With People? I sure did. Yeah, I traveled in 1986, and then I've been involved on and off ever since then, working with different aspects of the organization. So amazingly, the question is, what are the criteria? Amazingly, there is no performing arts background requirement. It's all based on your personality and your desire to give back and make a difference. And so once you're accepted, because of the nature we have a show that we tour with, then we find that we get a good percentage of students who do have some interest, like Mariah shared with you about singing and Jake about songwriting. And then the rest of them, if you can't sing, we don't put a microphone in front of you. And if you can't dance, they slap a guitar around your neck, and we make it work. For 54 years, we've made it work, and it's a miracle, but it works. Power of belief. Anything else? You guys are fantastic, and we can't thank you enough for the dinner. You should have seen Karen. She's going, steak? I'm poor. So if we have doggy bags, I think they might take them home. So we're going to close with this 2 choruses of our theme song. And once again, I can't thank you enough, Bev, for the invitation and just the continued connection we have with you. The amount that you do is absolutely incredible. It's staggering. And also Sandy and everyone else involved with tonight, just a huge thank you. Huge congratulations to everybody who was honored tonight with an award. And again, you inspire us more than we inspire you. So if you want to, you can join us on 2 choruses of our theme song led by Karen.